Welcome, guys, to Metallarium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Warfield, this new album with the old breath, and more things related to the metal world in general. So we are starting by asking, how are you doing today? How is the band during the last 7 years? Because your previous album, Wrecking Command, was released in 2018.
Yeah, so I start with today. I think right now, having the record out, we can, yeah, lay back a little bit and just receive the feedback, and that's a great thing because, yeah, also the last record was 7 years ago. There was never really a period where we um, didn't do much. So yeah, it was just yeah, the whole process till today took us, yeah, a lot of steps, a lot of things to, yeah, discover on our own, and yeah, but we are glad we made it, and we are also glad, that we yeah, don't force it, or didn't force it. So it took little bit longer since the last record, but I think in the end it turned out great.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm doing great too. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, and like Matze said, wasn't that easy going the last 7 years. Spent a lot of time with the pre-recordings because we changed the recording process, and yeah, in comparison to the Wrecking Command, we did some yeah, other things on this new record. Yeah, but finally it's out, and yeah, we are very uh, excited about the feedback so far, and yeah, hope that we yeah can play some a lot of shows and festivals to spread this new album. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Let's talk about this reception that about that you have for this new album, because I've been reading reviews. We all publish a review for this new album and more things related. So how it was for you, the reception entire for this new album? Because just will be in a week more will be a month that this album was released at the beginning of April. So how was the reception, and how do you take the bad reviews in general? When you receive a bad review, how do you take these reviews?
Yeah, first of all, I think we are glad that we didn't really have a bad review on this record. I can remember on the last record, but it wasn't bad. It was like more mediocre. Um, and yeah, as you evolve, I think you also learn how to handle with negative reviews, or comments or something. I think there were some negative comments. Of course, you recognize it, and but they people who criticize on that level, they don't know the process behind it, and it's not criticism that you know you can um, evolve on or something, or do something with it. I think that's something, yeah, we all should do if the criticism is like yeah, constructive.
Yeah, so it's about the art and kind of the feedback. Yeah, when someone comments that shit, for example, or something like that, then you don't can really do something with this feedback. So if you give feedback in a negative way, then yeah, just in a few more words that the band can handle the feedback and to process with the third album or the next album and keep things in mind that might be on a better level or another level. Yeah, but for with the old breed, I think that the feedback and the comments were really well, and yeah, we got a lot of feedback from the label who sent us the reviews from the different pages and magazines, and yeah, that's really a lot of 8, 9, up to 10, and yeah, that's really great to read and to hear. Yeah.
Mm. Okay,
I
okay.
would like to add the amount of feedback we received was obviously like never as much as this time. So this was
Yeah.
also really cool to experience. And yeah.
Okay, okay. Now Talking about now, especially for this with the old breath, one thing that is very interesting about this one is because right now you are with one of the biggest labels in the metal world, that is Naples Records. Because in your previous album, Wrecking Command, you released by Metal on Metal Records, and a small label, but now you are with a biggest one. So because they have more resources, they had more everything. So how many things changed since you released your first album, and now you released this last album under one of the big labels?
Yeah, I think that was something we didn't expect as well. Yeah, but after the new album came out of the mix at the end of 2023, we yeah were contacting different labels, and Napalm Records were one of the labels who got in touch with us and said that they really like the new album. And yeah, so we had some talks and a few meetings, online meetings, and yeah, then realized that it works on a personal level as well, and that was something that really connected to us. That we saw, okay, the people are great, we're on the same level, and yeah, that was one decision that we yeah said, okay, then let's release it via Napalm Records, yeah.
Mm, okay,
So if that
okay.
was your question in when you want to know that, when I got it
Yes,
right. Yeah, yeah.
about how about these the comparisons, because many things change when you are with a small label, and then when are you big label,
Okay,
how
okay.
many things change from the small to the big one?
Yeah, I think over the last year, we we recognize that it's a lot more things that you have to do
Yeah,
and that you have to consider. You know, there's a release plan. We hadn't had that with the first one. The first one was like really short term. So we had the label, we had a record done, and you know, and we put it out. So that was like how things were with the first record, and now we had 3 months of promotion time. And during that promotion time, you know, you have to provide videos, and you have to be very active on social media. It was really something stressful, and yeah, I mean, it's positive stress, I would say, but it was really a lot of effort for us to adapt, I would say. But as far as as now, I think we did a good job, I would say.
Mm, okay, okay, okay. Other detail that captured my attention about this thrash, about the thrash metal that you play, it is that into this new album will with the old bread. So I denoted that you all, and obviously I hear the first album also, that you lean down to the influence more from the American style, like Nuclear Assault, like Dark Angel, that kind of thrash metal, and you decide to just step away from the from your country, the thrash metal from your country, like the Tectonic Four, Sodom, Creator, Destruction, and Tankard for this. So what do you is this decision to play like a thrash metal like the American way? It was a conscious decision, or it was you something to when you create the first trip, we wanna play like influence from the American and not from the not from the Deutsch side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had influences on both sides, and we
yeah.
never really did you know a move on purpose in one direction. It's either you know, American bands or South American bands or Canadian bands or whatever. They all have great thrash bands, and it's all kind of an influence, I would say. Um, you could argue, you know, that we as German have the German sound within us, and maybe that's
Mm,
why we have that kind of sound to us. But you know, it's not something we do on purpose, I would say.
mm. Okay, okay. Well, other detail that I denoted recently in a lot of records, especially because, like, let's put an example. Since 10 years or 15 years, no, 10 years ago, a lot of bands are releasing albums, their lyrics on in their mother tongue. So I interview a lot of bands from Germany, and they speak like they speak in German tones or in Deutsch language. So now, so why do you decide to bring back this thrash metal with when we are living in a world that every people are singing songs in their mother tongue, and you decide to bring back this stuff in English? And by the way, this week with the old bread is a great one. It's a huge stone.
Yeah, I think it's first of all because of the yeah, promotion wise, so because it just feels more comfortable for us too, because we reach more people with the English language. And yeah, especially for me, spoken, I don't really, or I have problems with it when yeah, when the lyrics isn't in English. So for me, it's yeah, just another kind of listening. So yeah, I would say this is the reason because why we do it in English, yeah, and not speak in or write songs in German language.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, but on the other side, we didn't really experiment with this.
Yeah.
So maybe for the next records, I don't know, we will include some German lyrics as well. But I never wrote lyrics in German. I think for me, uh, for example, when I journal or something, I also write in English because it's somehow it's a better way to express yourself because there's like it's not there's a barrier or something, when you don't write in your mother language like you would speak, and so that's maybe I don't know if you get my point, but yeah, I think it's easier to put out the lyrics in English due to that kind of barrier.
Okay. Okay, I understand for this. And let's talk about now about this moment, about the promotion for this with the old bread. So what kind of promotion do you have for this new album? Perhaps you're already working a new album, who knows? Perhaps you will release it, you'll continue releasing videos, or perhaps you will embark in tours. Now with the globalization, it's more easily to tour in Japan, in Latin America, or in Asia in general. So what kind of plans do you have for this with the old bread?
Yeah, there are. So promotion-wise, we are now giving a lot of interviews for magazines, and yeah, of course, we hope that we can do a nightliner tour. This would really be a dream come true for all of us three, to spread the new album across all lands and as yeah, much or many countries as possible. And yeah, especially I have the feeling that especially in the US, the album is recognized really well. So maybe, yeah, hopefully someday in the future we have the chance to play some foreign countries. Like we did a show in Bahrain in earlier this year in February, and this was, for example, a land I didn't think of when I hear about playing metal shows. And yeah, we were really surprised about the offer and the request. But it just turned out great. We had a great time over there, and yeah, hopefully some of these experiences, yeah, will be more often in the future for us. So to reach more people from foreign lanes and support their underground scene. Like Bahrain, the metal scene was so fanatic, and everyone went wild in the crowd. So that was a huge and yeah, really great experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we try to keep it also flexible. Of course, we would like to play as many shows as possible, but now the world, yeah, evolves and changes so quick, so that yeah, we can't exactly say what will happen, but I think it's important that we are flexible and that we block out some time, and we have some things planned. But yeah, it's not in a state where it's, you know, safe to say that this will happen or that will happen. So yeah, we try to stay flexible. We also consider putting out another video at some point in time, but you know, like the flexibility is also I think good for us now, and also even if it's not like a thing we love to do, but we want to continue putting out a lot of social media stuff because I think it's a way to connect with the fans, and that's something cool about the social media. The work behind it is like really exhausting, but if you know we can connect with the audience in that way, that's cool.
Okay. Okay. Nice, nice. And now talking about a little more beyond of this with the old breath, about the influence, about more things related. So now a lot of people thinks that the thrash metal is stagnated with the old stuff. So either way, sometimes I think like that because I hear a lot of bands. I was in the 80s, I was in the 90s there buying CDs, vinyls, this kind of stuff, and hearing the old bands. And many people think that just the old bands has different things into the thrash metal. But when I hear these songs, I one of the songs that captured my attention is GASP. So one song that you include keyboards, like some vibe from the black metal stuff. That's a very interesting song, by the way. So in this case, so do you think with this conception of the thrash metal, is it possible to go further with the thrash metal stuff, or we are stagnated just the same like Slayer, Testament, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you can't, you know, invent something new within the thrash metal genre. I think that's obvious, but something completely new. But I think there's a lot of things, and in our heads, a lot of things we want to try out, and a lot of ideas we have, and want to, yeah, put on a record or somehow in our music, you know. And I agree with you. I think also the newer bands, they have their own kind of sound, and if you're really into a genre, you recognize it. And every generation also has their own issues to deal with, I would say, and that also, you know, shapes the sound, I guess.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah, so
okay.
I would agree. Yeah, so like you said, Gasp is sh I think shows well that we are not going in one direction and do the same and same over again. So it just felt yeah, comfortable and organical in the rehearsal room writing this song, even if it's over the 7 minutes. It just yeah, came with the writing process. And yeah, I think these are first signs that the songwriting isn't just like skank beats and stuff like this all the time and the typical old school thrash thing. Yeah, of course, there are a lot of basic stuff, and we will might never go away from this typical thrash elements. But I think, as you said as well, on the new record, there are a lot of directions where you can see, okay, this is something new we tried. Um, but still felt authentic to put it on the record. Yeah.
Yeah, that is correct. One thing that you said, Dominic, is correct. One thing that I forgot to add it into this gap song. There is a technical stuff. I remember some ways back to or the all the oldies, all the 80s from the trash technical trash metal. But that is unusual. That is unusual. And this question will be one of the last ones. And when I all the time hear trash metal, especially the new ones, all the time this rhythm, all tupa 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 tupa, all the time you can hear in a lot of bands. But when I hear your band more than 42 minutes, I cannot find the tupa tupa tupa. I cannot find that tupa tupa. That is a classic, like the rhythm, like a classic riff, or I don't know. It's a classic thing. And when you hear tupa tupa, it's thrash metal. So
Yeah,
and
yeah.
why for this for you? What is the for you, what is the real conception of the thrash metal in your case? Because your band doesn't have this tupa tupa, has more involved things. There are faster double bass and a lot of things. It's very different from the usual thrash metal of the tupa tupa.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that was one way we wanted to go with the new record. That I think Wrecking Command is like the name promises. It's yeah, full in your face all the time, all the 40 minutes. And the new record is a little bit more yeah variation. But I think you always and it doesn't work without the ufta ufta parts. Like when you're listening to Soul Conqueror, yeah, there are most of the time it's ufta ufta, but these are two or three songs, maybe. Yeah, more in the first half of the album as well. I think we have find a good mix of ufta ufta, typical thrash elements, but changing a lot of parts in the songs. So do you have ufta ufta, skank beats, typical thrash stuff in almost, I would say, every song, but it maybe it isn't clearly you can't clearly hear it because there are a lot of yeah beat changes and like in Tie the Rope, the breakdown after the half of the song. And yeah, then it's most of the time mid-tempo with double bass. So I think yeah, every song includes this typical stuff, but also a lot of different beat changes or yeah, part changes, which makes it even more interesting to listen to the songs. And yeah, shows for me it shows that we yeah just yeah did one step further. We went one step further in the songwriting process from Wrecking Torment to the new album, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think that's probably why you didn't recognize it is because we wanted to keep that dynamic or to create a certain dynamic. For example, if we add a riff, then the riff, doesn't have the same rhythm with like the drums or the vocals. They have another syntax. Sometimes we delay it a little bit so that the overall um, composition yeah can sort of breathe. I would say that there's more variety to it. And
Mm.
also fills, of course, with the drums is there. That's a huge part, I think, for us as well.
Mhm. Great, great. Well, guys, we arrived to the sad moment of this interview. I hope you enjoy this interview like me. Well, this with the old red is a great one. It's a great album. So congratulations on it. And perhaps do you want to add something to your Latin American fans that expect someday a full Latin tour here? Who knows? And obviously, Metallerium followers.
Yeah, if you don't know us yet, make sure to check out our new album with the old breed. Keep up your passion. I think that's something very unique about your area, and yeah, keep on thrashing.
Yeah. If you're into intense and high energized thrash metal, I think yeah, you should listen to the new album. And thank you very much for having us.